if you and I, and we don't, by the way, don't come cracking our office and arresting us. If you and I are planning revolution, let's put that there. This would be one of the best times to do that, actually.
How much Tbilisi money was spent on Khaladze's gentleman's course. Probably they hired him speech therapist, accent correction therapist, manner therapist. But thing is that no matter how much you spend on that, you can't change your mentality, which is frozen in the 90s criminal world, right? So this is what Khaladze is all about.
DNA is coming out.
Hello and welcome to Talk Georgia Question Time with me, Giorgi Rukhadze.
And with me, Nodar Kharshiladze.
This is a special edition of Talk Georgia where Nodar and I answer your pressing questions about Georgian and international politics.
Yes, and it's brought to you by Troiba Media Group, trusted source of news and analysis.
And GSAC, a think tank providing comprehensive political analysis of Georgia and wider Black Sea region, also academic and practical training for postgraduate students and mid-career professionals.
So I think it's time we start. And this week we decided to focus on single question, which is a big news. And I think you could, if you could read us that question. There were some others, but I think we will not have time. And plus, I think it's a big deal. So let's spend all our energy on this. So could you read us a question from Sergo, please?
Okay, so the top question came from Sergo, and it runs like this. Khabeishvili was arrested for offering a bribe, Burchuladze for accepting a bribe, and 2 Ukrainians for smuggling explosives into Georgia. So any idea what's going on, and can there be any link between them?
Okay, so this is a very big thing. We have seen the several arrests, or the detentions. First of all, let me start with that we know a little bit of those things, what were happening, and we will talk about it extensively today. First of all, while sounded quite poetic, and thank you, Sergo, for that one was arrested for giving bribe, second for accepting it, these 2 arrests are not linked, definitely not. Khabeishvili is arrested because he is actively involved in the revolutionary movement, and I will talk about it. And Burchuladze is arrested because he owes some money to big boss. He stole some money from stolen money. The scheme we discussed last time when they were scheming off the boss, as he... allegedly. It's a part of the crackdown of Khabeishvili over Khabeishvili's team, which already we have seen already arrest of former deputy of the Mr. Burchuladze, deputy minister, which was arrested, I think, 1 month ago. No, 3 weeks ago.
I think it was early. I think it was in July that.
Haindrawa.
Yeah, his deputy was arrested, and also his
relative, and who was in charge of
brother-in-law.
Yeah, who was in charge of acquisitions and procurement and things like that. So I think that what we can safely assume that these 2 are separated. Now let's start with Khabeishvili, and this is a big topic. Now I have interacted for the last 2 weeks with this group, which Khabeishvili represents, and there are some others there, Zodelawa including Mr. Pata Burchuladze, who is the prominent opera singer, and a number of former officials, defense people, security guys. I was quite surprised. These people very openly and very categorically, they declare that they're gonna make a revolution, a peaceful one, as they say, on 4th of October. And they're very committed to do so. They have organizations, they have people, they have plans. What was most astonishing about it, it's their very transparency about it. I don't remember, yesterday one of my diplomat friends told me that in history there was only one revolution which was pre-declared before it succeeded, the Belgian one in 1930. Why I have to look at that, because that's fascinating fact. I've never heard any revolution being declared and then succeeded. Okay, so that's a big thing. Now I asked them why you are so open about it. And answer was quite interesting. They told me that we know that with our current infrastructure and our current need to integrate people in our movement, and with our current need for expand our network, we have to include lots of people we cannot all be sure of. So one way or another, they said, there is no doubt the Georgian dream will have a hold of our plans pretty soon. So it means that we can't hide it from them. So if we can't hide it from them, why should we hide it from people? It will be at least considered as a bold move. And while not everybody agrees with that, and some people see that it's quite reckless, some people do think that it's a bold move. I mean, I spoke with several of my friends and people who are involved in supporting opposition, and they told me, you know what? We think that it's hardly possible, but we appreciate the gesture, I said, because we are sick and tired of going there without any purpose. Just going there, standing there, listening to some speeches which are similar to the speeches last time, and then going home. I mean, it's a waste of time. So at least these guys are trying to do something. So there is this logic. Do we think they can succeed? My personal opinion, unlikely. However, Georgian dream, and let's finish with that, and then about success chance. Okay, so on top of that, they are saying that they will try to isolate several buildings, take under control. They have thousands of people in their list. I mean, tens of thousands actually, what they claim. And these people will start very actively taking over the different government structures. So where Khabeishvili was arrested, that during this process, Khabeishvili said that there is no doubt that government is going to send some forces to crack us down. So any policeman who will refuse to follow these orders will be awarded sum of $200,000, as I was told.
So and that became the charge against.
Yeah, that became a charge against. Yeah, I think that it doesn't matter what will be charges. I mean, government just so. I mean, I think they didn't have another choice because he is pretty active, and the fact that they arrested him makes me think that they are a bit afraid. Yeah, otherwise, you would let him.
I have the same impression.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it's all failed and no success, you would let him do this silly thing and in 4th of July. Allegedly, nothing come out of it. He is humiliated. He's finished, and then you can arrest him. So, arresting now means that they think that something might come out, so they try to now foil their plans. So, that also gave me some food for thought. Now, what are their chances realistically? Very slim. But again, if you look at other events, the chances are often very slim. Unless it's military coup d'etat, which mostly are very well organized in different countries. Revolutions are very spontaneous, very, chaotic in its nature, and it's very hard to manage when it starts. You can have lay plans, you can have people in place, infrastructure, but first touch of reality makes those plans irrelevant. So there will be lots of things happening without your control. And maybe after first clash, before first clash, you have only 3,000 people. Then first clash happens and suddenly you get 30,000 people coming because they are angry. So on top of that, now, and this covers the second part, a Georgian dream now, while it's fighting with opposition now, I'm very amazed to see second war of Georgian dream, where it looks like the Georgian dream is at war with itself. And let's not underestimate that they just arrested a guy who was their defense minister less than a year ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Before that, they arrested 2 key deputy ministers, and I'm underlining key. One was a deputy defense minister, and also nobody remembers, not nobody, but I mean very little number of people remember there were other arrests. Because these were minor officials on the scale of news outlets. There were some procurement guys arrested, some people dealing. One of them actually a relative of Mr. Burchuladze. And before that, shortly before that, there was the arrest of the key deputy minister for economy who was in charge of infrastructure and energy infrastructure. Mr. Romeo Mikhautadze, and right. These are already big deal.
It is.
And now by arresting defense minister. Now, unlike these 2 persons, Haindrava and we couldn't argue that while they were in junior political positions, they still were just functionaries. Okay, that cannot be said about Burchuladze. Burchuladze was a deputy minister under Khabeishvili when he came back to politics. And when Khabeishvili will get promoted and he returned as a prime minister, second time, he left Burchuladze as the defense minister. And everybody who understood that field knew that Mr. Burchuladze was just a placeholder. He was Mr. Khabeishvili's placeholder in defense. So whatever charges or whatever, let's say, grievances you have against Mr. Burchuladze, that means that you have those grievances against Mr. Khabeishvili, because that's obvious. So Khabeishvili now, unlike Burchuladze, is not just former minister or prime minister. For example, Rukhadze also was a prime minister. But I mean, you can't say that he has any political influence. Or even Khabeishvili, who was now admittedly one of the best GT prime ministers, has now no influence. Now, unlike those people, Khabeishvili, whose entourage now being very actively arrested, is a quite influential guy inside the Georgian dream. And this influence streams not only from his money or from network, this influence streams from his popular support, which he has inside the so-called 2012 generation, as they are called. The first GD supporters who were fighting, they like Khabeishvili a lot. They say that he is a true Georgian dream, that he was one of the key guys, which is true. While Khabeishvili is just later addition. Khabeishvili was not even in Georgian dream when they won election in 2012.
Yeah. Okay, I will say something about that later on. So, but please carry on.
Neither was the Dinaradze. Both of them joining Georgian dream after 2016 election. So, 2012 generation are very much pro Khabeishvili. They think that he's like a manifestation of true Georgian dream guy, and they don't like it. Now, there is also some things in Mr. Khaladze's head that once Khabeishvili, if he's allowed to, deals with Khabeishvili and his team, who will be the next? And if he's arresting people who are corrupt, well, I think Mr. Khaladze makes a quite decent target. So now let's link it with attempts of revolution. If you and I, and we don't, by the way, don't come cracking our office and arresting us. If you and I are planning revolution, let's put that there. This would be one of the best times to do that, actually.
Yeah, when such infighting is going on.
And 4 of October, they have to divert most of resources for the elections.
Obviously. I would say that I don't think that that's elections, and they don't really need to divert a lot of resources. But
they will some. Yeah. Well, it's better than none. Some.
Yeah,
and plus, they need to ensure smooth winnings in every so that nothing goes. So there will be some attention going there. So I don't think that this is a bad idea from purely tactical perspective. Now, how successful it will be strategically, of course, that's a different level discussion, and how useful it is. But I remember when British Air Marshal Bomber Harris, when asked, "Can you win a war by air power alone?" he answered, "Well, I don't know, but nobody have tried." I think that's the same situation. I mean, nobody have ever tried to announce and make a revolution. So while I'm very skeptical about it, I'm very curious to see where it goes. And again, arrests of Khabeishvili demonstrates me, and we agree on that, as you said, that there is something in that. Otherwise, they would just let him fail with his project. I mean, so, and they're not. Now, about Ukrainians, I'm not sure. Ukrainians might be sending lots of people here, not for Georgian thing, but then to go to Russia, Ukraine, fighting for its survival. So I don't have any grievances on Ukraine using our territories secretly, because they can't trust Georgian dream, obviously. And I have nothing to blame them on. So I'm sure they will try to link it with this revolution and saying that, actually the former defense minister, Mr. Akhalaya, is mentioned, who was in prison for a long time. He's linked with Mr. Lotkepanidze, who is in Ukraine. I knew both of them, and I know that they never had a very cordial relationship. Things change, of course, and number of years has passed since then, but it is what it is. Georgian Dream will try to spin it now, but this bold announcement, we're going to do it, that changes things. So what do you think?
Thank you, Nodar, for this, the long explanation. Obviously, you understand a lot of things because you were part of the system a long time. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll start with arresting of Khabeishvili. I have this feeling that was clearly unprepared, unplanned, and I think it's clear that Ivanishvili is panicking in a way, because if you look charges that were presented against him, it's very stupid, because anyone could have been arrested on the charge. So, and I think that the intention is clear, that Ivanishvili and some of the guys in the Dream are seriously panicking about what is going to happen on the 4th of October. And I 100% agree with you that if there was nothing behind it, then they would continue, joking and laughing about Khabeishvili, would continue call him Anita and all that stuff, and just leave him alone. But that didn't happen, and that shows to me that as time goes, the Georgian Dream will be making more and more mistakes. As for Burchuladze, again, I mean, that happened on the same day, and State Security Service announced both arrests on the same press briefing. So apparently Burchuladze was not arrested by that time when Khabeishvili was arrested. And they tried to fuse these two news to create this information cacophony, right? As for Burchuladze being corrupt, and not forget that he was arrested for misuse of office and money laundering, and the talk is about MRI machine that they bought for 3.9 million laris, when everybody knows that the price is 2.6 million laris. And it's also kind of funny in a way that that's a medical equipment, that's not a military equipment. So if the health minister was caught on that and was making money on that, I would say that would be more understandable. But defense minister should be buying, tanks and weaponry and all that. And he was caught on buying health equipment, that also tells us something about Georgia's defense ministry and the priorities of it. But I wouldn't really go into details how corrupt or less corrupt Burchuladze is, but it's clear that the whole system is corrupt. And they can successfully arrest any minister on the similar charges. It's just a political infight going between Khabeishvili, now who holds power, and Khabeishvili's allies, and he's trying to clean up the system from these people. And you started talking about Khabeishvili versus Khabeishvili idea, and I agree with you that there is a very serious fight going inside the Georgian Dream between Khabeishvili's people, who are still there, some of them holding, and Khabeishvili, who most likely got this pledge from Bidzina that he would be ultimate power holder. And it's not only just, as you mentioned, that the Khabeishvili is a more popular guy within Georgian Dream and he's got more popular support, that's the case, but also these two people are absolutely different in terms of compatibility. Again, Khabeishvili is the kind of typical Georgian, the guy who is in corrupt guy, flies his son to Pennsylvania University with a private jet, with his clan in Kakheti, and somehow taking care that everybody is all right, everybody's got their cow to milk, and this kind of stuff. He believes that truly Christian family man, all that stuff. Yes, the Khabeishvili is exactly what Georgian Dream propaganda is standing on. This like traditional, etc., etc. On the other hand, Khabeishvili is absolutely opposite of what Khabeishvili is. Khabeishvili has nothing Georgian inside him, nothing conservative, nothing traditional, nothing Christian. I mean, come on, this guy is a, lunatic, German-trained psycho guy Right.
Leave Germans out of it.
I mean, he is truly German trained.
Well, but
He
there's
spent
nothing to do with his psyche.
10 years in 10 years in Germany, and again, these two absolutely opposite guys are, yes, they are clashing there because also they hate each other because they are absolutely different. And as you said, while this kind of fight is going on inside the Georgian dream, if there is any moment when you can plan peaceful revolution, that's the right time. As for Ukrainian operation, as they branded it, it's just again for the audience who don't know, two Ukrainian guys with Ukrainian truck try to smuggle a large amount of explosives into Georgia, apparently for a special operation in Russia. But what we hear from Georgia's State Security Service, they are skeptical about the operation in Russia, but they want to link these explosives to the 4th of October peaceful revolution. And probably, of course, I am 100% sure that there is no link between these two things. They will be more and more increasingly linking this to the Khabeishvili's arrest and this peaceful revolution on the 4th of October. It is announced from their side. As for the link between the three, I also don't really see any link between either Burchuladze's arrest or Khabeishvili's arrest or these two Ukrainians now who are in jail. But I think that Georgian Dream will try to link all of them together because they already kind of very openly and clearly state that Ukraine is siding with some of the forces in Georgia to stage a coup d'etat, and they would try to link it to that. And also, there's been going, it's not propaganda, it might be true that in some of the former Georgian Dream officials are giving kind of information to Khabeishvili and his allies, and again, attacking Burchuladze could be a message to some of the Georgian Dream officials or Khabeishvili's clan or people that, okay, we know that that's you who is kind of leaking this information to the UNM and some of the others. But in fact, I don't see any linkage between these three things. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I think that the Georgian Dream is going to do its best to tailor up it all to present it as a grand conspiracy. I think successfully. It's not that hard to do that. I mean, their propaganda works, and you take a bit of truth and add lots of lies there, and then you cook it. And they've done it before. Why not? But I think that that's not the sense of it. I think that those people who are watching them are already supporting them. So I don't think that that will work on any concerned citizen, because people are so fed up with them, and now this possible freezing of visa liberalization looming is adding lots of negatives to our Georgian Dream. So this might be, this visa thing, actually this last straw breaking the camel's back. This really might be. I mean, I was looking at the statistics again and to tailor up with revolution ideas that up to 1 million Georgian citizens are currently residing in European Union. Most of them are working legally. Imagine, and that's what would happen, at least 1/3 of them kicked out from there. I'm just taking a small number, 1/3. So it's a 300,000+ citizens without job now and income, angry, frustrated, and quite focused negatively on Georgian Dream, because these people, unlike people here in Europe, they know whose fault it will be. And if you look election results from the outside polls in 2024, Georgian Dream got 85% against them voting. They just got less than 15%. Yeah. So to say that Georgian dream is not popular among the immigrants will be putting it mildly. So if they are now kicked because of the Georgian dream action, so these are people who are immediately active people who will take their place, maybe even in vanguard of the Georgian dreams opposition. So again, while this 4th of October thing can be rushed, and I could agree that unlikely to succeed, this idea that just standing here will not change the thing and we need to be proactive will settle now in most people's minds. That's what this attempt will bring, that understanding that we need not to fear actions, because Georgian dream does not plan to go with the elections. They will not. They will rig any elections and they will stay. Now, because we go to stand in Rustaveli or we close down the Square of Heroes, that doesn't change political reality in Georgia.
No.
Okay? No. So, how you change the government then? So, no elections, no problem. So, the most possibly peaceful revolution could be an answer to that. Now, are you able to do that? That's a different discussion.
Yeah.
But
likely, that's a different story.
yeah, but once you locked in on that, then there will be people, there will be plans, there will be possibilities. Because so far this was like taboo discussion in opposition, which always fascinated me. I mean, I was telling them very openly, you either go to parliament and fight like institutionally with them, whatever, or then start making plans for barricades. I mean, this in-middle thing, I mean, the half measures that you boycott parliament but only go and do walk-ins and these summer strolls on Rustaveli Avenue, I'm going to change anything. That's why people are fed up. And we see the result. Results not only did not they bring any change, they did bring any change, but the change was negative one. People, now when I go to taxi, first 10 minutes when driver spends cursing Georgian dream, next 15 minutes he or she spends cursing Georgian opposition. So this method doesn't work. Will revolution work? I don't know. But as Air Marshal Harris said, nobody tried.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
And don't forget that also, I mean, this protest energy is back somehow, and not somehow because of how stupid Khaladze's supporters are and these goons who started beating up women on the streets and showing those kind of funny signs that they did the best face of Khaladze. I think that brought quite a lot of energy back on the streets. And that's kind of ridiculous, but there was a kind of laugh going on in social networks how much Tbilisi money was spent on Khaladze's gentleman's course. But probably they hired him speech therapist, accent correction therapist, manner therapist.
They did. Don't joke, we know two of them. One of them is mother-in-law of our common friend, and second was our student. Yes. I don't know, but two we know. One was a speech about speech, and second was about his manners and about his general attitude.
But thing is that no matter how much you spend on that, you can't change your mentality, which is frozen in the 90s criminal world, right? So this is what Khaladze is all about.
DNA is coming out. I mean, the breaking shackles of civilization and presenting its ugly self. Yeah, we have seen that. And I think that today, two things, and I would like to finish with positive. Georgian dream is enemy of the state now. I don't think that everybody in Georgian dream are enemies of the state, but as a force of Georgian dream is because it ruins our European integration, it ruins our country, it ruins our democracy, the most important one. European integration could be an option, democracy is not. And it also ruins our government institutions, which are under corruption.
They already did.
Of course. Afraid, It keeps ruining, so ruins is a continuous one.
Okay,
Yeah. However, while Georgian dream is an enemy of the Georgia today, maybe unwillingly most of them, but again, that's the fact. Georgian dream is also biggest enemy of itself for the moment. So no opposition, no Misha, actually, which made a very strange comments yesterday, no Lelo or UNM could do the harm they managed to do themselves for last 6 months. However, you can't only rely on that. You need also to have an adversary who will capitalize on that.
Absolutely.
So until this kind of adversary exists to Georgian dream, they will continue to harm themselves, but there will be nobody to benefit from that, nobody to take advantage. So we need a force, political, proactive, maybe young force, who will show us that they are ready to take over. Because there are a number of groups, very good names, interesting people, but none of them demonstrated their ability to change, to initiate the change. So maybe now, again, peaceful thing, meaning that Rustaveli trolls didn't result. No, maybe now we need to try boycotting the government buildings. Maybe now we need to try to chasing down some individuals and shaming them personally. I don't know. A number of things you can do peacefully. But obviously previous tactic didn't. Let's recognize it and let's move to new ones. So I'm all for experiments, and while revolution is a bit strong word, I think, especially announced, I'm very curious to see.
Yep, I think that anything apart from damaging human life is absolutely acceptable.
Yep.
Thank you, Nodar. Thanks for watching us, listening to us. Please subscribe to our new YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week.
See you guys.